You're listening to the Home Field Sports pregame show on NewsTalk 1520 KVTA and the Home Field Sports Broadcasting Network.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Moorpark High School. The Home Field Sports Broadcasting Network is on the air with the Ventura County High School Football Game of the Week. Live tonight from Moorpark High School, it's the Marmonte League's league opening week as the Moorpark Musketeers take on the Thousand Oaks Lancers. Hello again, friends. My name is Eric Evelhoch. I'm joined by Kent Brown high atop the press box here at Moorpark High School. And Kent, we're looking forward to an extremely exciting matchup in the Marmonte League opener between two teams that are 1-0 and looking to get off on the right foot in the massive 10-team Marmonte League.
Yeah, you always want to be able to stay one step ahead. You don't want to fall under 500 this early on. And for both teams, they're already 1-0. You have Thousand Oaks last week. Let's just say a dominating 62-0 win over Hueneme, and then also an impressive 21-10 win over Palos Verdes. So all of a sudden for Moorpark, you come into this, you're 1-0, and you're really trying to say, let's keep things going. Last year, a very disappointing 6-6, and then for Thousand Oaks, 8-4 on the other hand. Both of these teams want to be able to be one of those four spots in the playoffs, and you know if you fall to 0-1, all of a sudden next week you have both these teams at Newberry Park if you're Moorpark, and then also for Thousand Oaks you go at Westlake. So there's no breathing room in the Marmonte League. You need to come out, get that first victory, and I think for both teams, head coach Mike Lieben and also head coach Tim Linz, it's a matter of early on getting focused, really working the ball downfield, and seeing if you can get that early lead and putting the pressure on the other unit. But both these teams very strong, and again, Moorpark last year, 6-6, really looking to bounce back, and they have a chance here tonight to get off to a good 2-0 start.
It certainly speaks a lot about the program that head coach Tim Linz has put together here at Moorpark High School, that when the Musketeers go 6-6, win a playoff game, it's considered a disappointing year. Returning senior quarterback Grant Rohach, next year he'll be playing in Ames, Iowa on Saturdays for Iowa State, but this year he leads an offense that has moved to a no-huddle style attack and looks to throw the ball a lot more than we're used to seeing Moorpark High School teams in the past do. That's going to pose a real problem to a Thousand Oaks team that is breaking in several first-year players at key skill positions.
Yeah, he went 16 of 22 last week for 134 yards in the victory over Palos Verdes. And exactly, they're used to that more traditional running attack, but now they're going no huddle. And he has some weapons. Aaron Stanton at running back went for 75 yards and a touchdown last week. So overall, you have to like having a Big 12 quarterback under center for your team or for your unit. And of course, you have Rohach. He's 6'2", 200 pounds, pretty big kid back there leading your offense. And again, when you have upperclassmen and seniors at the skill positions, Rohach a senior, you have Stanton's a junior running back, guys like that with good experience, it's always a positive if you're Coach Linz.
His receivers that look to get the majority of the balls tonight, senior receiver number 21, Alex Tolliver, 8 grabs for 73 yards last week against the Sea Kings. Kenny Fye as well, a 6'5", 205-pound target, had 4 catches for 60 yards and a score. They promise to be a major concern for the Thousand Oaks defense. Now conversely, on the other side of things, this Thousand Oaks offense graduated from last year. Quarterback Avondre Bolar, now at San Diego State on a baseball scholarship. Wide receiver Richard Mullaney, who set the California state record for receptions in a season. He's redshirting up in Corvallis at Oregon State. And, of course, Ricky Minyard, the latest in the line of the hard-nosed, bruising running backs following the likes of Jonathan Lister, who's at Hawaii. They break in new players at each of those positions. It's Clark Abarisk, a junior, who will start at quarterback for Thousand Oaks. Nathan DeBakis steps in as the incumbent at the running back position. He was the second leading rusher last year, carried 38 times for 306 yards and 4 scores last season. And it's a receiving core that is going to use several senior targets to look to make up through multiple different facets those receptions lost with the graduation of Mullaney.
Well, you start with, in terms of, I think you look at DeBakis, 103 yards last week, 2 touchdowns, and he's a force there. And you're right in terms of you have to look at Abarisk as well. Last week he went 7 of 9, 213 yards, 4 touchdowns. That's basically 25 yards per attempt and 30 yards per completion. Those are like video game numbers that they were able to put up against Hueneme. So now, all of a sudden, and you mentioned their receiving core is one of those deals where they have a bunch of different guys that can catch passes. Landon Pauling went for 48 yards last week. Blake Howell, 75 yards and a touchdown. L.J. Wiley chipped in with 64 yards and 2 touchdowns, so they have no problem spreading it around. But I think DeBakis is going to be a name tonight. if Thousand Oaks is able to get the win here on the road, I have a feeling we're going to hear a lot from DeBakis if the Lancers are to come out victorious.
It's an interesting contrast of styles. Thousand Oaks spreading it around to a bunch of different targets when they decide to throw the ball with Abarisk and having the battering ram that Nathan DeBakis can be out of the backfield versus the spread it out and throw it around style for Moorpark. This game, Kent, the weather as it stands right now, getting into the low 60s. We're scheduled to have a temperature in the mid-50s by the time this game is over in the evening. What do you think the conditions mean in terms of giving an advantage to one style of offense or the other?
I don't think, in all honesty, it will give an advantage to either side. I think a lot of times you have to look more at the home field, and so you'll probably favor Moorpark in that aspect. They're playing on their home field, and you're right, they've spread the ball out, and it is nice to have a kid like Kenny Fay, the senior, 6'5". I mean, 6'5" is a mismatch in the NFL if you're a receiver. A lot of times just the height advantage. In high school football here in the league, all of a sudden you have a 6'5" receiver. You get inside that 10-yard line, it could just be a jump ball where you might be 6-7 inches taller than the defensive back guarding you. That's important. But the weather tonight I don't think will be much of a factor either way, but I do think the home field and having Moorpark play here at home will probably help them a little bit. But at the end of the day, turnovers are going to be key, and then when you get in the red area, when you get inside from the 20 to the goal line, which team is more efficient and is able to punch in rather than settle for 3, which teams come across with 7.
Hell's bells ringing out as Moorpark makes their entrance from the leftmost end zone. Green and gold, the colors of the Musketeers. They get ready for their home Marmonte League opener against the Thousand Oaks Lancers. And we've done a lot of talk about the offenses for both sides. Where Moorpark is going to look to create havoc is with that big defensive line. 2 senior defensive ends returning him. Jace Foster, one of the captains for this squad, is going to look to do everything he can to get into the backfield and disrupt and prevent Clark Abarisk from getting into a rhythm, as well as try and close down those lanes for Nathan DeBakis to run in.
Yeah, Abarisk, a first-year starter. You have a kid like Foster that's experienced. He's a senior, close to 200 pounds. And that's another thing, too. This is only the second start for Abarisk in his career, so it's one of those deals where even though they were very impressive last week in a 62-0 win, how's he do on the road against the Moorpark team that frankly is probably going to be much more of a challenge here tonight than what the Lancers experienced last weekend. So for all we talk about the skill position players and the running backs and so on, a lot of times in football it goes down to which quarterback is making the better decisions. And with Abarisk, you have a first-year starter as opposed to Rohoch, which you have a kid that's now a senior that's going to the Big 12 to play some major Division I football. So in that aspect there, advantage would go to Moorpark heading into tonight's game. Now, of course, we might look back at the end of the game and say the opposite, where maybe Abarisk will be the one that shines. That's why you play the game. But overall, advantage to Moorpark in that department.
Captains are meeting at midfield for the coin toss. We'll have the results as we are under 1 minute and 30 seconds on the big board behind the left end zone to the start of this game. We're going to step away for a brief commercial break. You're listening to the Ventura County High School Football Game of the Week on NewsTalk 1520 KVTA and the Home Field Sports Broadcasting Network.
We'll be right back with the Home Field Sports pregame show on NewsTalk 1520 KVTA and the Home Field Sports Broadcasting Network. It's Friday night. The lights are up, and it's time for high school football. Bringing you every snap, every touchdown, and every moment of glory live. This is Home Field Sports. The Ventura County High School Football Game of the Week on NewsTalk 1520 KVTA is brought to you by the County Schools Federal Credit Union. And now, here's the 805's voice of Friday nights, the Hawk, Eric Evelhoch.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Moorpark High School and Ventura County's High School Football Game of the Week on NewsTalk 1520 KVTA and the Home Field Sports Broadcasting Network. My name is Eric Evelhoch. I'm joined by Kent Brown, and Kent, we are excited for the beginning of the Marmonte League regular season league play as the Moorpark Musketeers host the Thousand Oaks Lancers.
Yeah, it's every week, every game, seemingly a top-tier state-caliber team on the field, and both these teams here looking to get off to a 1-0 start in the Marmonte League, and both of them last year a bit disappointing. Thousand Oaks 6-3, and of course Moorpark 5-4 overall in the league, 6-6 overall. So Moorpark looking to bounce back here tonight. Winner of this game goes 2-0, but more importantly 1-0 in the league.
Thousand Oaks won the coin toss. They will receive, going right to left across your radio dial. The ball is teed up and kicked away by Eric Kreitz, and we are underway as it's fielded by L.J. Wiley at the 5, stretching to the 10, 15 to the far side, sideline to the 20. Wiley taken down out of bounds just as he gets across the 20-yard line. Coming across, Austin Cole makes the special teams tackle, and so Thousand Oaks will begin with the ball on their own 22-yard line, and that is where junior quarterback Clark Abarisk will see the beginning of his Marmonte League career.
Well, that's the thing. You look at Abarisk, his first-year starter. How does he react to this team? How does he react to the opening league game? And, of course, it's interesting. You're on the road, and that's always a tough test. On the road at night against a quality team, how does he do?
Thousand Oaks starts in a shotgun. Abarisk with a back behind him. That's DeBakis. Turns and hands to DeBakis, working the right side of the line. Hit at the line initially, stuffed by the second wave. Linebackers come through and stop him, unable to bring him down. Ryan Baer stepping up to make the stop. No gain for DeBakis on the first carry for Thousand Oaks. Thousand Oaks in their road white uniforms, Lancers across the chest in green, green numerals trimmed in black. Denver Broncos inspired uniforms with green stripes up the sides, and the helmet very similar to the University of Michigan, but as a Michigan State fan, it weirds me out seeing the white part with the green for that as well, and a green helmet. It'll be 2nd down and 10 from the 22, shaded towards the near side hash. Abarisk in a shotgun with DeBakis behind him. Two receivers to the far side, one at the snap. Throws, and it is tipped and almost intercepted at the 30-yard line. Jonathan Wolverton, the senior defensive back, able to get a hand on it, and all of a sudden Thousand Oaks find itself in a 3rd and long situation.
That was a risky throw and nearly picked off by Wolverton. He had a jump on that. It almost looked like he read the quarterback as well as the wide receiver did, and nearly broken. If he was able to get that, might have been able to keep in stride, but nonetheless, it's going to be 3rd and long here on the opening series of the game for Thousand Oaks.
Abarisk in a shotgun with DeBakis behind him. Double tight set, one receiver on either side of the line. Blitz shown by the linebackers, and a flag comes in from the line judge on the near side. Somebody must have flinched on the inside part of the line for Thousand Oaks. Interesting point for Thousand Oaks. Tom McNutt, the starting center for the team, only a junior, started at the position last year. And talking with Coach Mike Lieben, he said he's been an incredible leader for this Thousand Oaks team. He'll have to do some leading after they give up a 5-yard illegal procedure penalty and set up 3rd and 15.
And you mentioned last week, what was a big problem? Penalties for certain teams. So here you go. All of a sudden, the first penalty of the game now sets up a 3rd and very long.
Polling, the tight end, moves across the formation. Snap for Abarisk, back to pass, has two receivers on the far side. He looks that way, chased down, throws underneath for DeBakis, and DeBakis, he's not even going to get back to the line of scrimmage. Taken down for a loss of 3 on the play, and it's at the 15-yard line where Thousand Oaks will have to punt the ball away on their first possession. No score, just over a minute gone here in the Ventura County High School football game of the week.
3 and out, great defensive start, and should be superb field position for Moorpark. And now you send your special teams out there. You can go for a block, but you got to think at this point you set up a good return, and you could be very deep in the plus territory.
Michael Waldman ready to punt the ball away for Thousand Oaks, has his heels on the end zone line. Alex Tolliver waiting between the 45 and the 50 of plus territory. Snap away, high side spinning kick that Tolliver will watch bounce at the 45-yard line, and it'll get out of bounds in the neighborhood of the 47. So a plus territory begin for the Moorpark Musketeers, and out comes senior quarterback Grant Rohach and this high speed, no huddle Moorpark High School offense. We'll get to see them for the first time this year here on the Home Field Sports Broadcasting Network. 1st and 10 ball on the far side hash at the 47-yard line.
And that was a pretty good punt. You got it away from the return man, ended up at the 46, and that's exactly what you could have hoped for if you're Coach Lieben, but now you need your defense to step up. Pitched a shutout last week. It's going to be a little tougher this week at Moorpark.
Rohach under center, receivers on either side of the set, 2 backs, and they will motion into a new formation. 2 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far. He's out at tight on to the left, does Rohach. Standing to his right is the running back Stanton. Snap, back to pass, play fake for Rohach. Rolls to the near side, looking, throwing long, and it is caught just shy of the 20-yard line by Alex Tolliver. A good decision by Evelhoch to find the safe spot in the zone, and it's a good gain through the air on first down, and a fresh first for Moorpark.
Over the linebacker in front of the defensive back, really perfectly placed. Nice catch by Tolliver, and just like that, Moorpark in striking distance right outside of the red zone.
22-yard completion, 1st and 10 from the 22-yard line. Evelhoch will turn, hand the ball for Stanton at the 20, breaks through the first wave. He'll be taken down in the second part at the 10-yard line, make it all the way down to the line, to the 9, I should say. There's the speed of Aaron Stanton hitting hard out of the backfield. Last year as a backup, Stanton had 20 carries, or correction, had 85 carries for 496 yards and a score. He's got Moorpark in position to do so here.
Hurry up, no huddle so far. Very effective.
Evelhoch in the shotgun, Stanton to his left, trips to the far side of the formation. Evelhoch surveying the 4-4 defense, will give zone read for Stanton. Breaks one tackle, falls forward at the 5, and brought down just shy of the goal line by linebacker Landon Poling. It'll be 2nd down and goal from the 4-yard line on the 6-yard run by Stanton.
This offensive line's doing a heck of a job blocking so far. They're giving Evelhoch time, but creating a lot of holes for the running back Stanton.
Evelhoch will drop under center, has a tight end. Receivers on either side of the set. Stanton behind him in the eye. Snap will give for Stanton. Works the right side. Tries to bounce to the outside and unable to get the edge. Good job making the tackle, stepping up by Matt Singleton. A loss of 1 on the play. Singleton led Thousand Oaks with 11 tackles in their season-opening win against Hueneme.
And you can tell why. He got in the backfield, disrupted the ball carrier, and picked up for a huge loss. And that time it looked like if Stanton stayed up the initial gap, he might have been able to go in for a touchdown or at least get positive yardage. Instead, bounced it outside, and a nice open field tackle by Singleton.
3rd and goal from the 5, under 9 minutes to go, scoreless. Evelhoch in the shotgun, Stanton to his right, 4 wide, motion across the formation, will set up trips to the left side of the formation. Evelhoch back to pass, throws over the middle, complete to Alex Tolliver, touchdown! Moorpark Musketeers, a simple in route, and with 8:41 to go in the first quarter, the Moorpark Musketeers strike first, and they lead it 6-0 as the seniors connect for the opening score of the game.
That was perfectly placed, and Evelhoch, you could tell just why he's a senior quarterback, effective. His first pass of the game, perfectly placed, that time on 3rd and goal. As you said, a simple route, nice catch by Tolliver. That's great back-to-back catches on this possession by Tolliver, and now all of a sudden, Moorpark off to the early lead here at home.
Eric Kreitz ready to attempt the extra point out of the hold of Austin Cole. Snap down, kick up on the way. It splits the sticks and extends the Moorpark lead to 7-0 with 8:41 remaining here in the fourth quarter of the Ventura County High School football game of the week. Eric Evelhoch and Kent Brown with you on NewsTalk 1520 KVTA, brought to you by County Schools Federal Credit Union. Home field sports coverage of the Musketeers and Lancers is brought to you by our friends at County Schools Federal Credit Union, Ventura's only education credit union. Swing on over to the corner of Market and Eastman or log on to csfcu.org and thank them for supporting your school and the Home Field Sports Broadcasting Network.
Great first possession, defensively and offensively. You couldn't script it any better if you're Moorpark. 3 and out on defense, -7 yards, and really then you take advantage of great field position. You start off in plus territory. First play is a 26-yard pickup, and before you know it, you're inside the 5-yard line just a couple plays later. Perfect start if you are the Moorpark Musketeers and Coach Tim Lentz.
Howell and Wiley deep to return for Thousand Oaks. Kreitz punts it away. It'll be fielded at the 2 by Wiley, stretching to the far side of the field, crossing the 10, the 15 to the 20. Lot of speed as he gets beyond the 30-yard line. Has to be brought down by the last person before the kicker. And good field position for Thousand Oaks as they are at the 33-yard line to begin their second offensive possession of this game.
Need more productivity, and that offensive line needs to step up. They committed a 5-yard false start. They also didn't block very well. And then, of course, the first pass of the game was nearly intercepted. So Aberist needs to make a little bit better decisions. It's early in the game. It's the second possession. But so far, great start for Moorpark, and their defense was all over the field in their opening possession.
Double tight set. They give for the deep back to Bakis. Flag comes from behind as DeBakis flies forward on the plunge beyond the 40-yard line out to the 41. So it's good for a solid gain. Pickup of 8 on first down, but we wait to see what the flag is for, and this one is coming back. It's a hold against Thousand Oaks, and Coach Lieben animated on the sideline in the early going here.
And of course, he should be. That's now 15 penalty yards from his offensive line. It's tough to score the football when you're going backwards. And so far for Moorpark, they've done their job defensively to a point, but it's not like the Lancers aren't helping them. The Lancers have taken away some positive yardage. They picked up 7 yards if the run would have stayed. Instead, all of a sudden, they're back to 2nd and 20.
Second down and long. Need to get to the 43 for the first down. Line of scrimmage from the 25. Aberisk in the shotgun, snap, back to pass. Rolls towards the near side. He's got 2 receivers there under fire. Sets up a screen for DeBakis. Completed the 25-yard line. Falls forward, but brought down by the linebacker. Making the tackle for the Musketeers is Austin Cole. Gains a couple, and it'll be second down and still long.
A short gain, but it's a positive play, so that's sort of the first time this game where the offense has picked up some positive yardage on a play, but it's still very far away from the sticks. Good defense as well. Moorpark basically said, we'll give you something short, but it's up to you to try to break it with yards after catch, and that time they weren't able to do it.
Second down and 14. Aberisk in the shotgun, 2 receivers at the far, 1 at the near, snap, back to pass. Aberisk looks long, throws long, down the seam, completes a towel to 50, and he's beyond the 45, down to the 40-yard line before he is brought down by Christian Dearborn. A big gain for Thousand Oaks, and they're into plus territory at the Musketeer 40.
It's just a poster out there, and instead of the defensive back coming up and really getting in Howell's way, Howell was just able to go right up, pick it up from the 40-yard line. A nice gain, first time in plus territory now for the Thousand Oaks Lancers, and that was Aberisk's best pass by far. And again, the kid showed a lot last week. He had 4 touchdown passes and 213 yards, but that time a huge hookup with Howell from Aberisk.
First and 10, 7:15, and the clock continues to churn. Thousand Oaks trailing 7-0 as they drive right to left across your radio dial. Aberisk in the shotgun, double tight, receivers on either side of the set with DeBakis behind him. 4-3 set for the Musketeers as Aberisk will give for DeBakis, works the left side of the line, powers forward out to around the 35-yard line before he is driven back by a slew of linebackers for Moorpark. Leading the way on the charge is Tony Mack to stop him, but it's good for a gain of around 4 yards, and will set up second down and a much more manageable 6.
Yeah, Mack maybe even with a little late push there, but nonetheless, it's a physical game. I think the refs are going to allow them. They didn't necessarily blow the whistles too early, but DeBakis really having to earn his yards so far as we're closing in on the midway point here in the first quarter.
Thousand Oaks in the shotgun, 4 down linemen for Moorpark. 4 linebackers is Poling. The tight end will move left to right across the formation. 3 receivers to the far side of the set as they'll toss for DeBakis running that way. DeBakis breaks 1 tackle inside the 30, tripped up, still keeps his feet. And the 25 to the 20, DeBakis will finally be pushed out of bounds at the 15-yard line. It's safety Ryan Baer who has to step up and push him away, but a big gain on second down and short, and the first real long run ripped off that we've seen by junior running back Nathan DeBakis.
That time they do the toss to the far side. Plenty of green to work with there. And instead of falling over at the 25, DeBakis kept his balance and really just found a way to keep up, got another block at the 20, and worked it all the way down to the 15. Terrific to stay with balance for DeBakis on that play. Could have been a short pickup. Instead, he turned it into a lengthy one.
20 on the run, perhaps 15 of them after contact. First and 10 from the 15, snap for Aberisk, back to pass. Draw, gives for DeBakis, up the middle. Hit by a lineman, has to be brought down by the linebackers after he's able to churn out 2-3 yards. And it moves the clock and keeps it going as we're at exactly the midway mark. 6 minutes to go. Moorpark leading 7-0 here on NewsTalk 1520 KVTA.
A nice tackle by Ryan Baer for the short yardage. Only picked up 3. But as I said in the pregame, it seems like we're going to hear a lot of DeBakis here tonight for Thousand Oaks if they're doing things positively. And so far, that's what we've seen on this possession. They're not afraid, even if he picks up short yardage on first, to go back to him with second and long. And in the red zone, how do you do? We already saw what Moorpark did, 1 for 1 with the touchdown in the red zone. Now it's time for Thousand Oaks.
Receivers on either side of the set. The tight end, Poling, moves left to right across the line. Snap, Aberisk back to patch. Big blitz picked up by DeBakis, but not the second one as Brandon Hughes crashes in and drops Aberisk for a loss all the way back to the 20-yard line, and it sets up a third down and long. Correction, the line of scrimmage will be from the 18, so even so, it's a loss of 6 yards on the sack for the Musketeers.
Yeah, I know a lot of us announcers aren't necessarily the best at math, but I do know when the other team's bringing more than you have to block, it's usually not going to end up well if you hold on to the football. And that time, Moorpark gambled. They brought the blitz. That time, Thousand Oaks not able to pick it up in enough time, and instead of facing a second and manageable, they're 3rd and 14.
Lancers come out, 2 receivers to the far side of the set. Poling, tight end, on the near left side of the line. Motion across the formation as Howell moves to the near side, one on either side of the set. It's a snap back to pass. Abrist, pump fake. He's going to the far side corner for Wiley. Wiley, one hand on it, just barely unable to come up with a catch in the far side corner of the end zone. Jordan Guerrero there providing coverage, and he'll set up now 4th down and long. And you wonder if Thousand Oaks goes for it here or whether or not they give their kicker, Jamie Sutcliffe, the opportunity to try and make this a 4-point game. Here comes the special teams for what should be a kick of around 35 yards.
Well, from 3rd and 14, and face it, 4th and 14, it would have been very difficult to go for 4th down here. And now it's up to Sutcliffe to see if you can get some points on the board for Thousand Oaks, but it's 35 yards. Certainly a tough one.
He is centered between the hash marks. These are the tall sticks here at Moorpark High School for the field goal. Snap down, kick up on the way. Plenty of leg for Sutcliffe, and no good. He pushes it wide to the left. Pressure up front from Moorpark. You had Christian Dearborn crashing through there and perhaps making Sutcliffe think just a little bit about it, and it goes begging. Our score with 4:30 to go in the first quarter. Moorpark gets the ball back on their own 20-yard line, leading it 7-0. Moorpark High School in their home, all green uniforms with white numerals trimmed in yellow, yellow stripes down the side of the pants, and the old University of Miami uniforms that loop underneath the armpits around the back in gold. Of course, the green helmets with the yellow M's and the crossed swords on both sides. Rohach under center, 2 receivers to the far side, 1 to the near. Stanton behind him. Snap, back to pass, play fake. Rohach rolling, looking, firing deep over the middle, and it is caught. Completion out beyond the 40-yard line is dragging all the way across to make the catch. Kenny Fye, first grab of the game, and it's good for a gain of 21 yards and a Moorpark first down.
Impressive play to get out of the pocket. Rohach showing his mobility, and then Fye, the 6'5" run, he's actually makes the athletic play all the way up to the 41.
Shotgun, 2 receivers to the far, 1 to the near. Rohach will motion a receiver from the near side to the far, coming across the formation. That's Tyler Collette. The give is to the deep back, Stanton. Stanton on the draw, hit first at the 45-yard line, kept the legs churning, and gets an extra 3 yards after contact. Good for a gain of 7 yards on the run. 2nd and short coming here.
Stanton's shown some nice ability to be able, as you said, keep your legs going. That's almost half the battle when you're a running back. You want to be able to keep your momentum, never fall to the ground, because you never know if a hole will open up. And that time, only a short game, but at the same point, now all of a sudden it sets up a 2nd and 3 near midfield.
4 wide, trips to the far side. Again, motion across the formation from Collette. Snap, Rohach back to pass. Throws out, completes it to Fye on the screen. Fye fumbles the football on the far side short of the 50-yard line, dives back, tried to recover the fumble, and the official is immediately signaling that it remains Moorpark football. Good hustle by Fye to able to get the ball back after it was knocked away for Thousand Oaks, and it'll remain Musketeer football, 3rd down and short.
Yeah, and that's one of the most dangerous areas to fumble the football in open space when no teammates are around you. That time, if it wasn't Fye that recovered, there were 3 Thousand Oaks Lancers standing there ready to pick the ball up. But fortunately for Fye, he realized he fumbled, got back over it, but all of a sudden, instead of having a first down, it falls all the way back to the 46-yard line, and you're facing a 3rd and medium.
3rd down and 4. Rohach in the shotgun. 4 wide, 2 on either side. Snap back to pass. Rohach looking over the middle. Thrown over the middle. It's tipped, and it's intercepted for Thousand Oaks. DeBakis, the linebacker, takes it and run with it up the far side sideline. Rohach, one of the last man, able to slow him down inside the 20-yard line. And Thousand Oaks with the ball in great position, and it's 2 of the real playmakers we talked about in this game. Rohach read the entire way by DeBakis, who comes away with the interception for the Lancers.
So DeBakis not only can run the football on offense, he can tip the football up in the air, pick it off, and then go all the way down into the red zone. Great field position to start for Thousand Oaks. They're all the way at the Moorpark 17-yard line. Great play by Nathan DeBakis, and now he'll get a chance to keep it on offense because he knows he's their mainstay on offense, not to mention a great defender.
2:55, Abarisk will give for DeBakis, tries working the left side of the line, immediately shut down by the defensive front for Moorpark. Leading the way on the tacklers for the Musketeers is Ethan Sharhokafar. And it'll be no gain on the run, 2nd down and 10 as DeBakis is bottled up.
But again, last time they were in the red zone, nothing doing, missing a 35-yard field goal. So they're already 0 for 1 on red zone trips. And this is when, if you're Moorpark, you want to man up, force another field goal attempt. But if you're Thousand Oaks, you have to find a way to put some points on the board.
Musketeers leading 7-0. Aberisk in a shotgun. DeBakis behind him. 2 receivers to the far side of the field. Aberisk snap back to pass. Clark's going to run up the middle. Inside the 15, he dives to get out of the way of the linebacker who was bearing down on him. He saw Tony Mack ready to hit him like the truck bearing the same name as his last. But a good decision by Aberisk to keep, able to pick up 5 yards and make a more manageable third down.
Yeah, great play. He didn't take the big shot because Mack was completely ready to level Aberisk. Instead, he picks up the short yardage, dives down to the ground, and now you face a 3rd and 5, ball on the 12, and you got to think they have 2 downs here probably to get 5 yards.
Thousand Oaks already missed a 35-yard field goal trying to put points on the board. Aberisk in the shotgun. DeBakis behind him. Receivers either side of the set. Snap back to pass. Aberisk under fire, and the blitz will bring him down at the 20-yard line. Crashing in is Jace Foster, the defensive end senior, with the sack. Drops Aberisk back for a loss of 8 on the play, and it sets up 4th down and long.
You get to talk to Jace Foster a little bit yesterday. I know that Coach Linz loves Foster, and then we mentioned him in the pregame. He is one of the main defenders for this team, the 5'11", 195-pound senior, and that's back-to-back 3rd down plays now in the red zone where Thousand Oaks can't get anything positive, and now they're going to settle for another long field goal. This will be from 36 yards away, and Sutcliffe's already missed 1.
Ball shaded towards the far side hash as we're under 50 seconds to go, and a whistle and a flag from the back judge. Oh, this is disaster if you're Thousand Oaks. Delay of game. Lancers going back 5 yards further. And though Sutcliffe, we did see some good range displayed in the pregame. This is something that Coach Mike Lieben is not going to be happy about. 3 penalties already in the ball game for the Lancers, and all of a sudden now it's going to be a 41-yard attempt for Sutcliffe.
Well, he has some of the leg. Last time he didn't miss it short. He just pushed it to the left, but 41 yards, not easy at all. Snap
down, kick up on the way. It is hanging, it is high, and it is no good. This one off to the right, and our score with 43.3 seconds remaining in the first quarter remains Moorpark 7, Thousand Oaks nothing. The Musketeers able to bend, but not break defensively, and now get the ball back to allow Grant Rohach an opportunity to attune for the interception on his previous drive.
Yeah, do you think Rohach wants to just say, hey, guys, forget about last possession. That's my fault. Wide receivers, running backs, let's get ready. Offensive line, let's block. Let's go down and try to make it a 2-possession lead. Rohach probably just has to shake that last possession off knowing it was a poor throw.
1st and 10 on the 20. Musketeers go left to right here in this first quarter. They motion out of their initial set into 4 wide. 2 receivers on either side of the set. Stanton the lone back behind Rohach. Snap back to handoff. Stanton will run across the left side of the line, crosses the 25 at the 30. He's met by 3,000 Oaks tackers, keeps his legs going, and is brought down around the 33-yard line. A great run again for Aaron Stanton. That is his 2nd run of the ball game of 10-plus yards and a 1st down Musketeers.
Yeah, he didn't get touched till he was at the sticks already when he was 10 yards past the line of scrimmage. Picks up a gain of 13, and that's perfect. That's all you want. You don't want your running back to get touched till he's downfield. You want to be able to get great blocking, not only from your line, but how about the wide receivers on that one? They were able to get some good blocking.
Shotgun 5 wide for the Musketeers. You heard me right. 3 to the near side, 1 to the far. Rohach in the shotgun will motion Stanton behind him. Option off the snap to the near side. Rohach keeping, looking for the corner of the 35 to the 40. Flag falls as he'll be brought down just beyond the 40-yard line. Making the tackle is L.J. Wiley coming up from the secondary. As with the flag, we'll wait to see. And it is a hold against the Musketeers. Moorpark moves backward with the first infraction against them of the ball game. 5 seconds and the clock stopped remaining in the first. They lead 7-0.
And that was an unfortunate hold because it was already when Rohach was past the player that ended up grabbing the right tackle, reached in, grabbed the outside linebacker for Thousand Oaks, and that Rohach already picked up a good 5-6 yards at that point. So rather than set up a 2nd and short, they're now facing a 1st and long, and you hate to see that. It's one thing if you get a penalty and it's when the play's going on, but it's another thing when it happens past the line of scrimmage.
And the official looking for a reset of the clock. They ran down the final 5 seconds unnecessarily. Of course, you cannot end the quarter on a penalty, so they'll just play this as the last down of the half. 1st down and long following the 10-yard holding penalty. Rohach shotgun, trips to the far side of the set. Stanton stands to his left. Snap, Rohach back to pass. Rolls to the far side of the field, throws out, completes it to 5, the 35-yard line, and he'll be pushed out of bounds at the 36. So able to gain back 10 yards, and that brings us to the end of the first quarter of play. Moorpark leads 7-0 here on Ventura County's high school football game of the week.
You're under the Friday night lights with the Ventura County High School Football Game of the Week on NewsTalk 1520 KVTA and the Home Field Sports Broadcasting Network.